Hey guys, MC Mura here, and although typically I don't do these type of videos, and 2xKO, I'm gonna be honest, isn't in games that I really covered that much. Like I did like two videos on this game when I first tried it out, when they did like the open beta, the forever going open beta, and then like the early access, and I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't really for me. I had my gripes with the game. But I thought that it was a game that I could see like a couple of years down the line when they add more characters, when it's getting more refined, I could see it being like a really good fighting game. Because you can tell that there are people who are really passionate about fighting games that have worked on this game. Now, yesterday, if you're watching these videos and you know, like the news is everywhere. That tweet have like 10 million views on Twitter, which is like the most publicity that 2xKO have ever gotten is this staff reduction. So they did an update where they said that they are heavily reducing the number of staff that is working on the game, and there are circling numbers out there, but they're saying that the game pretty much didn't meet the performance that they were hoping for, and they are cutting down on the staff and they're having like a smaller team, but hey, don't worry, the Pro Tour is gonna be the same and we're not gonna change it and whatever, right? Which already, like, I know, like, already there's like 2xKO players in Egypt, and I already know, like, probably the best one. Like, if you watch my videos, you've probably seen Cleanse, like the Guile player, who's also like really into 2xKO, and he's like, I'm just gonna play it for like the upcoming tournaments, and then I'm done. And it never really does encourage a lot of confidence when you know that the devs are going through like a really hard time. But I want to talk about what happened with this game, because a lot of people are talking about how this is so sudden. I think the idea of the team being cut down is not that unconventional, because we see it in every other game. Like, I'm sure not everyone that worked on launch Street Fighter 6 is currently working on Street Fighter 6, right? Typically, like the bulk of the staff will work on another project, upcoming projects, while you will have like a smaller team maintaining like the live service aspect. So maybe that is what is happening here, but their confirmation that the game didn't meet their requirement, that the game had a passionate core audience, but the momentum hasn't reached the level it needed to support a team of the size, that's a little bit discouraging. So what happened with 2xKO? Because I feel like a lot of people are pointing fingers at like, this is Riot's fault, or it's the fact that the game is a 2v2 game, and there's a lot of discussion here, but in my opinion, it's much simpler, right? It is Riot, right? And I personally have never really been like a Riot fan. I don't play Legends, I don't play their games. But for me, like common sense wise, if this is a game that was developed for 10 years, then why doesn't it have anything to show for it? And unfortunately, I do think that is the truth, because there's a lot of the talks about the game is 2v2, and a lot of people are pointing fingers like that is the issue. And it is the same argument that I saw people saying with like Ninja Gaiden 4, where it's like, it is just a niche genre. Like Ninja Gaiden 4, it was never gonna sell that much. It's just niche, when like Devil May Cry 5 sold like 11 million copies. And it's kind of like the same with 2xKO. Like, fighting games, they are niche, yes, but they're not that niche. Like, you had Smash Brothers, who sold like 30 million, Street Fighter sold a lot, Mortal Kombat 11 sold like 15 millions, Tekken 7 sold like 12 millions. So there is potential, there is an audience. I think the main issue isn't that the game is free to play, it's not the control scheme, it's not even the gameplay. I think it is the fact that there isn't much in the game to do. 2xKO launched its soft launch, whatever you want to say it, in a very in development state. Right? They pretty much said the game is out, and it is obvious that they were rushed to get the game out of the gate, right? It's obvious that they needed more time in the oven to get the game to be a product that could be sold, right? Probably what happened is that Riot was like, all right, guys, you had 10 years to come up with a game, and we still haven't showed us anything, right? Because we have to be honest. And here's the thing. The game being free to play is a huge chance. And a lot of people are also pointing fingers like it's because it's free to play. It's because of the microtransactions. But here's the thing. Because we've all seen the story. Like Multiverses had 153 all-time peak. It's a fighting game. It's a free to play. So it's telling you like the audience is there and the IP of League is very strong. I think the honest truth that people don't want to discuss is that the game was not good enough. That's it. Because like let's compare it to another game that came out last year or like about last year, about like 14 months ago, which is Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals came out, the game looked good, the game played good, didn't have any issue. The game featured 33 heroes at launch, good number of maps, and it's been supported like crazy. They came out of the gate swinging. When you put out a free-to-play game, you have a big chance to pull in audience. People are gonna try it because it's free. So if the game is game enough where there is enough there to pull people in and the actual gameplay is good and it is polished and it doesn't have bugs with every patch and there is a good number of characters and everyone is free, like you don't have to unlock heroes or whatever, people are gonna stick. I honestly think that's it. I don't think it got anything to do with the gameplay because although me personally was not a fan of the control scheme of 2XKO and the game tried to do too much at one point, I don't think gameplay had anything to do with it. I think if you gave people enough game here, if there was enough to have fun, enough modes to engage in without having to just play online, just play competitive, people would have stuck around because, and that is the issue with 2XKO because the potential was huge. This was a game that could have made waves. It really, really could. But after 10 years, coming out with 10 or 11 characters, and that was just not gonna cut it. I think that is the honest truth. It doesn't have anything to do with what type of game it is, what the fact that it's like a free to play. Yes, fighting games have a ceiling, but it's not that low, right? And even if we're talking about like the game being free to play and that will get people to dig in, sure, it will get them to dig in, but they're just gonna bounce out because they're gonna play for a couple of days and within like an hour you already seen every map, every possible character in the game. There isn't really that much to keep going on, right? And I feel like that is probably like the biggest issue and it's such an unfortunate state. It was clear with how this game was launching that they were looking at a slow burn at best. But obviously, maybe, but this doesn't encourage a lot of confidence when you see that they're going to work with a smaller team. So I don't imagine that, like real talk, I think people are just gonna bounce. Which is unfortunate because I can see that there are some really passionate folks behind this game. And my heart goes out for everyone who did work on this game and that just got released. It's just awful times out there financially. Like it's very, very rough for everyone. So I think the lessons that we need to take out of this is that come out with a game when it's ready. Like it is the age-old Miyamoto-san's quote, which is a rushed game will be bad, but a delayed game may be good later, or whatever, right? I don't remember the exact quote, but being free to play is not enough to save a game. It will give you the hook initially, but it needs to be good enough to sustain momentum, right? And gameplay really does not matter as much as you think. I honestly, that's it. Like, does Mortal Kombat 11 have the best gameplay of fighting games? Hell no. But it's like, it's decent enough, it plays good enough, and it looks good enough, and there is a shock factor of the fatality. It got stuff to do that will make people look. It's like, what is this game? And I'm gonna be honest, like I have my wife, which is like a non-video gamer, and she saw a lot of the fighting games that I do play, even if I'm trying the game out for a little bit. And she saw like Fatal Fury and didn't care to give it another look. She saw 2XKO and it's like didn't care to give it another look. But when she saw like Marvel Tokens, she was like, that actually look cool. When she saw Strive, she was like, okay, that looks kind of cool. When she saw Tekken 8 and you're looking at like especially like the Jin Kazuya fight, she was like, that looks really, really good. Like there have to be a bull for the people, right? See what I'm saying? So I don't know. It is sad. It is sad. Like this is the type of news that really bothers me. Anyways, expect the video on like the part 2 of the Street Fighter 6 How to Fight Everyone video. Expect that in the next couple of days. What are your thoughts on 2XKO? That sucks, to be honest, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.